And speaking of a talented son of a bitch, let's talk about Dean Ambrose. Let's talk about the Wild Dog. Let's talk about the guy with the golden tongue in his hands. When he has that microphone, when he starts talking, when he starts yelling out everything that he says, it's usually true. You can talk about him being the next CM Punk, but let's be honest, that's already been done, and all we want is Dean Ambrose to speak his mind, say what he wants, and give us a reason to love him. So I say, at Money in the Bank, Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose, the Battle of the Shield. Money in the Bank. That's what you call money. And that's what you also called, and if Triple H is hearing this, what's best for business. Yep, I said it right there. Now, there's one more thing I want to talk about before I move on to other things, because I've got, the last and final point that I want to bring out. I want to talk about Goldust for a moment, and I want to bring that out immediately, because if you guys saw it, I couldn't believe it, but I got to admit, I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was good. When the whole thing with the Rhodes brothers came together, when it was Cody Rhodes and Goldust, let's be honest, they weren't really the Rhodes brothers. I mean, even though we know who they are, I mean, if this was Dustin Rhodes and Cody Rhodes, that would actually make sense. A whole lot of sense if you think about it. Not Goldust and Cody Rhodes. That doesn't fit at all. I mean, even though, Cody Rhodes to me is still the future of WWE, and I still like to see him, go in the capacity of a WWE World Heavyweight Championship in his future. But it seems like whatever's going on, and I think the reason for them, not fighting each other is because they don't want that to happen. And plus, even though some fans do want to see Cody Rhodes against Goldust, what are you really going to get out of it? I mean, that's kind of the honest truth right there. So Cody puts together this new tag team partner who's the magnificence of whatever, and the biggest star that he's never seen before. So I'm thinking in my head that Sting was coming. That's what I was thinking. Oh, by the way, I thought that the whole Sting promo deal was going to happen that day also, but apparently that hasn't happened yet, but I think that's still in the works from what I understand. So, I thought Sting was coming, but the whole promo deal for Sting was coming, but I guess that's not going to happen. Now, moving on. Goldust comes to the ring. Here he comes and everything, looking as only he can, and then here comes this new superstar that Cody Rhodes puts together, right? This guy comes out, all right, coming in, and immediately goes like this. Kind of does the whole AJ Styles deal, kind of like that. Looks like a star, looks like almost a replica of Goldust, but then when you open it, you look closely, the new superstar, his name is Stardust. And in my head, like, wow, that's a little bit interesting. But when you look closely at who he is, it's Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes becoming a brand new figure in WWE, which I got to admit, in my mind, it's a brilliant move. I know some people, I was reading through Twitter, I was reading through Facebook, oh my God, they made Cody Rhodes a joke. Oh my God, Cody Rhodes is going to end up losing his career. Cody Rhodes ain't going to be shit anymore. You know what? To all you bastards out there that, say comments like that, first of all, you need to look at the big picture before you decide to go ahead and jump on Cody Rhodes. Now, my opinion on the whole Stardust character is, thank God. You want to know why? Because if this was in reverse, Goldust would be gone and Dustin Rhodes would come in, and Cody and Dustin would be known as the Rhodes brothers. It would make a whole lot of sense. But Goldust has been in the WWE for a long, long time, and Cody Rhodes has went through many changes in his career. Many changes, including the ridiculous mustache, which I'm glad he got rid of it. So Cody Rhodes goes in and changes himself into Stardust, and now becomes a huge success. Does it work? Oh, hell yeah. He's winning again. And now we got a tag team now. We got a complete tag team. Goldust and Stardust. The question is, what are they going to be called? I mean, what are you going to call this new combination? You can't exactly call them the Rhodes Brothers when you got one guy that's called Goldust and when you got one guy that's called Stardust. What do you call them? I don't know. But I do got one thing in mind. One thing in mind to call them. Now, this is just what's off the top of my head. Just what's off the top of my head. You got Goldust and you got Stardust. Put them together, what do you got? The Metroplex. I know that sounds a little crazy, but that's just what's at the top of my head, okay? Goldust, Stardust, the Metro... Oh, wait a minute. Not the Metroplex. The Megaplex. Think about that. It could work, it may not work, but that's just at the top of my head, okay? But nonetheless, let's move on. I'm going to get into the final thing that I need to say, and I want to go ahead and let out the promos right here, right now, and talk about Ring of Honor, because as you know, this Sunday, live and exclusively on pay-per-view, June 22nd, Ring of Honor is going to have its very first pay-per-view, as I talked about at the beginning of the show. Best in the world. We're going to have superstars in there from the likes of the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Adam Cole to defend the title against Unbreakable Michael Elgin. 2 former TNA Wrestling superstars will be over at Ring of Honor as well. Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian. Bad Influence is going to be at Best in the World. And also, besides them, you got the phenomenal AJ Styles, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. You also got Jay Lethal, the World Television Champion, Kevin Steen, one of my all-time favorites. If you guys have ever seen Ring of Honor Wrestling, you'll be impressed with this. So I suggest you go to your satellite provider or cable provider, get your hands on Ring of Honor Best in the World this Sunday, June 22nd, live and exclusively on pay-per-view. They have always done their internet pay-per-views for a long time, but now they get a chance to do their pay-per-view on cable television or on satellite television. So guys, it will be awesome. You will get your money's worth when you see that pay-per-view, I guarantee you.